Good morning.
Hi. So I don't think we've met. I think I interviewed most of the candidates last semester, but I don't think I interviewed you.
No, me and Carla were already success coaches.
Oh, okay, okay. That makes
So they
sense.
took us from the office of the dean's office to the Center of Academic Achievement.
Nice. Okay, okay.
Yeah,
That makes sense because I know Liz and Reg. Awesome.
yeah.
All right, so we're gonna get started. So the first question is, tell us about yourself. Where and what did you study in college, and why did you choose to be a success coach at LaSalle?
Yeah, funny story. So name's Jose Rodriguez. I'm actually from Chicago, Illinois. I went to school in Iowa, Simpson College. I went there for athletics, so I was a student athlete. But my time in college was not fun. My grades weren't the best. As a first generation low income student, I didn't know what my resources were. So I studied mathematics, but as I think back on it, that probably wasn't the best major to study. I struggled very much. But all of that coincides with why I'm a student success coach. I finally found a program that works with first generation low income students. And without that advisor, her name is Darcy Sprouse, I would have never succeeded. So I had that one person in college that I always looked up to, went toward for advice, resources. And now I want to be that person for the students I'm working
Oh, that's really nice. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that college, but I also
with.
haven't
Super
left
small.
PA really. No worries. No, that's a really good answer. So going off of that, it might be a little difficult then. What success strategies did you use in college? And now that you have experience being a success coach, would you change any of your study habits, which it sounds like you might
Oh, yeah.
be?
I wasn't taking my academics very seriously in college. I was young. I didn't know what role it would play in my future. I was always looking the day of as opposed to my future. So study habits, there were none, which I love to tell my students, don't be like Jose. Let's take the time to study, love what we're actually studying as well. And time management was a huge issue for me, which I always use in my meetings. Let's, figure out a schedule that we are going to set and live by, to study. Other strategies, going to professors, going to tutoring. I never did that. I think I started tutoring, or I started going to tutor in maybe my junior year, which was my best year. And then I always recommend our tutoring services at LaSalle. They're amazing. Supplemental instruction, SI. I'm like, okay, we need to go to these. So everything I did not do is what I tell my students to do.
Yeah, so I was actually, so right now I'm a STEM tutor, but I was an SI and a tutor, and I didn't go to tutoring once freshman
Yeah.
year. And then I started going, I was a tutor, and then I would like tutor someone, and then I'd pop in the other seat and get tutored. And people thought
Yeah.
like, oh, you're a tutor, why are you tutoring? Everyone needs tutoring. Like
Yes. Yes.
ever, I still could use it right now
For
in grad
sure.
school. Alrighty. So what are some of the biggest mistakes that students make their first semester in your experience?
In my experience, number one is reaching out for help. The students that we primarily work with are the first generation, not necessarily low income, but students of color. And the backgrounds that they come from are very strong backgrounds, and asking for help is non existent. So I try to build strong relationships with my students to ensure that they can come to me for anything. If they have a question about anything, I am that person they should ask, to ensure their success. Another mistake, obviously, is the time management piece. COVID has its own obstacles, but life
Yeah.
before COVID, college is fun. We all know that, and students want to partake in fun activities in college, but time management does come into play when it does come into studying, reaching out for help, all that fun stuff. So that's another kind of mistake students try to get over. And then lastly is pursuing something that they want to pursue. In my experience working with students who want to become nurses, they're doing that for maybe the wrong reasons or maybe some wrong intent behind that. But finding their passion early is what I try to help them do. And then once they find that passion, they're like, okay, this is what I should be doing. And then it's all uphill from there.
Yeah, and I think college, a lot of people think like at 18 you make this decision for the rest of your life and that's it. Like that,
Yeah.
I changed my major. I went in as a like teacher, an education major, and I want to teach, but I realized I'd never been to college. I didn't know what teaching in college was like, and now I switched to like bio, environmental science. Like I was switching all over the place. Now I'm in
Mhm.
grad school. I didn't know when to go to grad school until like 2 months before the applications are due. My advisor was like, "You need to apply." And so yeah, I
Yeah.
think a lot of people think, oh, like my mom is a nurse or my mom is a teacher, I'm going to go to school. Oh, well, I'm already like a year into it. I had a friend actually my senior year who was 2 or 3 years into bio and switched to nursing. She was like,
Yeah.
and I was like, better to do it now than in
Exactly.
7 years. No, it's so hard to go back to school. So
Yeah.
that's really
Exactly.
good advice. Alrighty. So, in your own words, what is a success coach? I think it's a newer position. I never went to a
Yeah.
success coach. I like so if you could I just didn't know and I worked like 4 jobs at the center. I had no idea. So, who can benefit from scheduling a session with a success coach and just what is it?
Yeah, so like you said, a success coach is brand new, not only to LaSalle, but to higher ed in general. So every institution is going to have their own definition. Here at LaSalle, we primarily work with first year students and it's everyone. So there's no special, circumstances that you get a student success coach. It's everyone. And what we are here to do is not necessarily advise, only academic advise the student, but support the student holistically. So we're not just focusing on academics. We're also focusing on financial aid questions that they might have, because obviously they're 18 years old and don't know their financial aid package. Mental health issues has been a up and coming subject that used to be like not talked about, but it's easily talked about now. We uh, guide them to resources on campus for anything they might need. We are that point person when it comes to the students. And they can come to us for anything. We will either have the answer or find the answer for them in respectable time. Any first year student is going to benefit from our services as being a coach. There's going to be one time in their college career where they don't know where to go, but that one person, the student success coach, is going to be that person. I myself have not met with all my students yet, but I promise you, once they do get to know me, I love to build strong relationships. They will see the benefit of having me in their corner. No, I cannot give them their academic pen as they wish I would, because I probably respond to their emails much
Like
quicker.
10 seconds before course registration opens? Yeah,
Exactly,
exactly.
but I am gonna reply, tell them where to go. Like that's where it is. I can't give you your pin, but I'll tell you who to do it, who can for you, how to set up that meeting, even down to how to write that email to set up that meeting. We are just gonna help them, succeed their first year and give them the tools, mindset, and knowledge to take that on to sophomore year and further until they graduate.
Nice. I do think that's really necessary. Like I remember I had a great advisor. I still talk to him. He was great. But like I remember my first course registration, nothing prepared, like just nothing prepares you for that. Like the class is
Exactly.
filling as you're like like nothing prepares you. So I think anyone who can help. And you're right, there's so many departments, but the departments aren't going to reach out to you. So
Exactly.
I
No,
didn't
they're
know
not.
like I didn't go like I could have used a therapist my entire career.
Mhm.
And I didn't know that I got it for free until senior year and I went every week. Like that
Exactly.
would
And
have been
students,
something,
yeah,
but you
and
don't
that's the
know.
conversation that, it's hard to bring up sometimes from the student
Hmm.
perspective, even if I catch it, like they something they said, I'm like, ooh, they need those services.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
and what I used to do on campus was walk them down to the, counseling center because, I can tell them it's over here, over there. Do I believe they're going to go? No.
And the
So
counseling center was hard to find. I don't know if they moved it. That
exactly,
place was hard to find. It took me
exactly.
like, and I was a senior. I was familiar. Like That was hard to
Mhm.
find.
Yeah, so
No,
as
like
much as I
someone
can
to
help
guide
them,
you, that sounds like a really great thing. I think everyone could benefit from that.
yes.
Alrighty, so last serious one, and then I have a fun one at the end. But what is your biggest piece of advice for students in college, and what is one thing that students can do today for like to start their successful journey?
Number one, I think have fun in college, right? This is the 4 years before real life begins, and take full advantage of what you're taking in as far as academics, as far as fun, but at the same time, take it seriously. Learn from Jose's mistakes and study what you want to study and love what you study and use the resources on campus. You're already paying for it in your tuition and fees. There's a lot of fees in that. So we are here to help you as much as possible. But at the same time, college should be fun, plain simple. And that includes your academics. And then what they can start doing today to be successful is reaching out to people who are in their corner, whether that is their success coach at LaSalle or their advisor. I always say students should have 5 point persons at their college. The more they have, the more successful they'll be. But number one, if you don't have that already, is to find that person, and we are here to help you.
Yeah, that the whole I always said that to students when I was in SI, like you're paying for it. It's not
Yeah.
like oh you could no, you're paying for it. Like you're
Hmm.
if you don't go here, you're wasting money.
Yeah.
And so that
Exactly.
usually got through to them. But a lot of people also thought tutoring you had to pay per session. And I was like, no, no, you already paid per
Yep.
session. Like, so yeah, that's really good advice. And then the last question is, what are you currently binge watching with the whole pandemic? Everyone's watching
Yeah.
Netflix and
I've
Hulu.
watched so much TV than I should have.
Yep.
But the last show or the current show I am binge watching right now is Scandal,
Ooh.
with Olivia Pope, and I am loving it.
Wow. See, I feel like I've seen everything. So when someone
Uh-huh.
brings up something I haven't seen, I'm like shocked. See, I haven't seen that. I'll have to
I
like add that to my list.
definitely recommend it. It's on Hulu.
Nice.
Season one is 7 episodes. So
I will.
I
I'm gonna add that to my list.
yes, please do.
Yes. Well, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking the time to let
No
me interview
problem.
you. And I hope that people will start coming more. I hope this will help them understand what is a success coach. And this was great. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good
Yep.
day.
You too. Bye.